Hypnosis and hypnotic inductions. Did you know that hypnotic inductions are ridiculously easy? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. This is Mike Mandel.
Hello, children.
I'm Chris Thompson, and we run
Mike Mandel Hypnosis
and the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. So let's start it off. Mike, give us a bit of the glorious history about how hypnotic inductions were so complicated and hard back in the day.
Hypnotic inductions are a ritual. They're a means of telling the subject's unconscious mind that something is happening while giving them directions to create a trance state. Now, think about it. Back in the early days, there were so much complexity involved. Even the great Milton Erickson, who we believe is the greatest hypnotist who ever lived, back in 1929, he debuted his hand levitation induction at the Clark Hall seminars.
Hands would rise
this is where your
up.
hand is rising, you're rising, and there's so much instruction given. You're focusing on your hand is getting lighter, it's starting to float in the air. It's a heck of a lot of work.
And it's okay if you have a lot of time, if you have 2 hours to do a session. And Erickson did research, he did client work,
he was a psychiatrist.
Yeah. He saw clients for long periods of time, but a lot of the inductions these days can be done faster.
It's too long and involved. Now, I'm not saying you have to do an instant induction, but if you're doing something like hand levitation, what's good about it is you're getting a cataleptic limb, which occurs in hypnosis naturally. It's been documented for 200 years. And it's a great tool because the person can watch it themselves. They can feel their hand rising.
And it ratifies that trance.
It gives them an experience that ratifies the trance for the subject and the hypnotist. It makes it real. The hypnotist doesn't have someone just sitting with their eyes closed and wonder how things are going. They're seeing something actually occur. That's all the good stuff. The bad stuff is, as we said, it's a heck of a lot of work. It takes too long. So here's my solution.
Well, before we do that, Mike's going to give you the solution. But before we do that, we need to explain the principles. Just briefly, what are the principles of hypnosis? And they're really straightforward. And then your solution will actually incorporate all this. So
Start us off, Chris.
So the first thing is you must have a willing subject and you must have rapport. And then you need to create fixation of attention. So talk a little bit about the fixation of attention.
Well, Braid back in the 1800s thought you had to fixate the eye focus. Well, that'll work, but it's really fixating the attention that does it. They can fixate the attention in their imagination. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be anything there.
Can be on your hand, can be on the sound of my voice.
Yes,
can
an
move it
internal
around.
pendulum or something you're watching. Right.
Right. And then also, so once you actually have the trance, once you fixate attention, you do get hypnotic trance. But you need to make it feel real for the client, right? So how do we do that?
You want the client to have an experience. And this is something our friend James Tripp is all about. They have an experience. Then when they come out of trance, they're, wow, that was profound. And they'll become an even better subject next time. So having their hand rise in that initial induction gives them an experience.
The old Ericksonian hand levitation induction that takes a long time and is a lot of work.
Right.
How can we do it better?
We reverse it. This is my improvement on Milton Erickson, if I dare say it, and I do this time. We do a delevitation induction, sometimes called a declension induction. You start with their hand extended in front. So I would take his hand, put it like this, eyes closed now, begin to do an induction and give suggestions for the hand becoming very, very heavy. And as your hand sinks down, you go into a deep trance. So think about it. We got gravity working for us now instead of working against us. We get all the same stuff. We get the focused attention. We get the cataleptic limb. We get the different feelings of a hand floating in the air. They're all ratified by the seemingly automatic movement of the arm downwards, and you can frame it in a way to have the person go deeper into trance.
Right. And I'm pretty sure we have videos on YouTube about catalepsy, so maybe we can link to them somehow with the cards or whatever to understand catalepsy more, because catalepsy is so ridiculously easy to set up.
Crazy.
Then you can do the delevitation because you've already drawn their attention to something weird that's happening, and it only takes a few seconds. That ratifies it for them, and then you can utilize it to send them even deeper.
And you've got a visual gauge, because you say you can go deeper and your hand sinks as it becomes heavier, and you go deeper. As I see the person's hand sinking, I know it's working. It gives me an indication. I'm not waiting for their hand to take off from their leg like a rocket.
Awesome. So let's probably a good time to wrap up this video.
I think we should, Chris.
So here's what we're going to do to wrap up. I'm going to give you a link in the, well, I'm not going to do it, but someone's going to put a link under the video in the description for the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy, because there are loads of inductions that we teach in there. Plus, we actually give you an entire online module for online inductions. So if you're doing client work over Zoom or whatever it is, you'll have a wide variety of things that you can do. We recommend you join the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. You can join for free. And with that said, I'm Chris Thompson.
I'm Mike Mandel.
And we run the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. We hope you join us. Click the subscribe button and then ring that bell so you'll always get notified of our latest videos. And we hope to see you in our community in the MMHA. You're going to love it. Thanks again, and good night.